In this video, we are going to discuss about OOPS concepts in Python programming. Generally, programming languages are mainly classified into two types. The first one is procedure-oriented programming languages. So the first one is procedure-oriented programming languages. Second one is object-oriented programming languages. So procedure means a function. So we know what is a function. Function means a collection of statements which are useful in order to perform a task. Python is best example for both procedure-oriented as well as object-oriented programming languages. In this video, we are going to discuss about OOPS concepts that are supported by Python. So mainly we have 6 concepts are there. The first OOP concept is class. The second one is object. Third one is encapsulation. Fourth one is abstraction. Fifth one is inheritance. And the last one is polymorphism. So these are the major features of OOPS, major concepts of OOPS. Now let us discuss all these concepts one by one. So the first concept is class. What is a class? Class means it is a blueprint. Class is a blueprint. It is a blueprint or plan, or we can also call it as plan, from which an object is created. So this is the most commonly used definition for the class. So what is a class? Class is a blueprint or plan from which an object is created. If we take the example of construction of a house, so first we need a blueprint. So first we need some blueprint, okay, where bedroom is, where kitchen is, where dining table is. So we need some blueprint. That is nothing but plan. According to the blueprint or plan, we are going to construct the house. This blueprint or plan is called as class, whereas this constructed house is called as object. It is a blueprint or plan. Class is a blueprint or plan. According to the blueprint or plan, we are going to construct the house. So this is the most commonly used definition for the class. Okay. So that means here we can call class as a logical entity. So that means it has no physical existence. If you take the example of manufacturing a mobile. So in order to manufacture mobile, we need some RAM, ROM, some speed, some camera. So according to that, we will design the plan. So we need RAM, ROM, next to some camera. So first we will design the class. Okay, we need all these requirements. Okay, so this requirement, this is called as blueprint. Next, once blueprint is over, according to the blueprint, we will manufacture the mobile by taking all the components and by assembling all the components. We are going to manufacture the mobile. Okay, so once blueprint is over, then we can construct as many number of houses as we want. So that's why we can call class as it is a collection of objects. Class is a collection of objects. Once the class is created, once the class is declared, then we can create as many objects as we want. Once the plan is created, once the blueprint is created, we can build as many houses as we want according to the plan or blueprint. So we can say that class is a collection of objects. Okay. And one more important point is class is a collection of variables and functions. So class mainly contains variables and functions. The variables and functions which are declared inside a class are called as members of the class. So what are members of the class? Members of the class are nothing but the variables and the functions which are declared inside a class are known as members. Okay. Now let us see how to declare a class in Python. Practically we will discuss in the next video. The syntax for declaring a class is like this. We have to use a keyword called class, and it should be followed by class name. For class name, simply we have to follow the rules of identifier, and it ends with colon. In C or C++ or Java, it ends with curly braces. Okay. After the class name, or in C we use a structure name. After the structure name we have to use the curly braces. Curly braces specifies the starting of the block, whereas Python means it is indentation language, so we have to use colon. Colon specifies start of the block, and after that we can place as many statements as we want. Mainly we places variables and functions. Variables and functions. Okay. Variables and functions. Let us take the example. Let us take one example. Let the name of the class is student. So class student. Next it ends with colon. Here we can declare, here in Python there is no need of declaring any variable. Directly we can perform the initialization. Let the first variable is roll number. Roll number is equal to 10. Next variable is name. Name is equal to some Ramu. Now what will happen? Roll number, it is assigned a value called 10. Now roll number will becomes integer data type. So next we assign some name. Now next what will happen? Name means roll number. So class, what is the name of the class? Roll number. Name of the class is student. Next we can declare as many variables as we want. So for space constraints I am writing here. Next we can declare some functions. So def. In Python a function is defined using the keyword def. So def space. We can use any function name. Let the name of the function is right, colon. Within this we can place some body. So likewise we can declare the class, and we can declare the class. So practically in the next video we will see. So this is about what is a class. Okay. In the next video we will discuss practically how to create and how to create the class, and how to create the object, as well as how we can access the members of the class. We will see practically in the next video. In this video we will mainly focus on what are these concepts. Okay, what is what. Okay. The next feature is object. So what is object? The most commonly used definition for the object is it is an instance of the class. Object is an instance of the class. An instance of the class. Okay. So once the blueprint is created, then we can build the house based upon the blueprint. Okay. So it is object means it is complete replication of our blueprint. That replication is nothing but instance. Okay. And one more important definition is object is any real world entity. Object is any real world entity. So anything that we see in the world is nothing but an object. Here this marker pen is an object. This duster is an object. AC is an object. Fan is an object. So anything is an object. Okay. In Python, everything is object. Data types will also be treated as objects in Python. Int is object. Float is object. Everything is object. Okay. Here object is called as physical entity. That means object has physical existence. Object is a physical entity. That means the entity which has physical existence. Whereas class is logical entity. Class is a logical entity. That means class doesn't have any physical existence. Class means some plan. Okay. So that is about what is object. Now let's see how to create an object. Syntax for creating an object. So very simple. The syntax for creating an object is like this. Object name is equal to class name. Object name is equal to class name. Next we have to use left parenthesis, right parenthesis. Okay. Let object name is S1. S1 is equal to class name. Previously the class name is student. So S1 is equal to student. Okay. So an object is created. That object name is what? S1. So likewise we can create n number of objects. So what is the use of object? Object is mainly useful in order to access the members of the class. So class contains variables and methods, variables and functions. Functions can also be called as methods. So in order to access them, we use the object. So how we can access them? Simply we use dot operator. S1 dot roll number. Let the roll number is 10. Next S1 dot, let we want to call the function write. S1 dot write. S1 dot write. So likewise we can call the objects. So this is about object. Now let us see about the next feature of OOP, that is encapsulation. Encapsulation. What is encapsulation? First let us see the definition. Encapsulation means so third feature of OOP is encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? Encapsulation means combining variables and functions under a single unit called class. Under a single unit called class. So generally class contains what? Variables and functions. If you place variables and functions inside a class, then it is called as encapsulation. So that combining can also be called as binding. So binding means placing. So if you place variables and functions in a class, then it is called as encapsulation. Now let us see the next feature, that is next concept, that is abstraction. So what is abstraction? Abstraction means showing essential features and hiding implementation details. Hiding implementation details. So this is abstraction. So what is abstraction? Showing essential features. That means representing essential features and hiding the implementation details. If you take the example of bike, we can drive the bike, but we don't know how clutch is internally implemented. We don't know how internally gears are implemented. We don't know internally how brakes are implemented. Okay, we don't know those implementation details, but we can drive the bike. Okay, let us take the example of a website or mobile app. We can work with any website or mobile app, but we don't know how it is internally implemented. We don't know which programming language they used. We don't know which scripting they used, which scripting language they used. We don't know which server-side technology they used. But we can work with, we can use that website or mobile app. That is nothing but abstraction. Abstraction means only showing essential features to the user and hiding the background or implementation details. So Python also provides what? Abstraction. Now let us see about the next feature, that is inheritance. What is inheritance? So let us erase this portion. Let us see about inheritance. Inheritance means, let us see the next property, next concept of OOP, inheritance. Inheritance means creating a new class from old class. Creating a new class from old class. Creating a new class from old class is called as inheritance. So what is the major use of inheritance? Means reusability is the major use of inheritance. Let we have a old class. This is the old class. If we create the new class from the old class, then it is called as inheritance. So what is the use of inheritance? Reusability. Reusability means we can use the members of old class in the new class. So without declaring the members of old class, we can use all the members of the old class in new class. So that is nothing but inheritance. So reusability. Reusability means using the members of old class in new class. So what is the major advantage? Means reusability. The best example for inheritance is human being. If we take any human being inherits the features or genetics from his parents or from his grandparents. We inherited our all body features, nose, eyes, ear. Okay, we inherited all the features from our grandparents and parents. That is nothing but inheritance. We have different types of inheritance are there. Single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. We will discuss all those concepts in the upcoming videos. Okay. Let us see the last concept, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism is derived from two Greek words. The first word is poly, the second word is morphism. Two Greek words. They are poly and morphism. So poly means many, morphism means forms. Representing one thing in many forms is called as polymorphism. Okay. Mainly we have two types of polymorphisms are there. The first one is compile time polymorphism. The second one is runtime polymorphism. Okay. Compile time polymorphism means which method will be called. That will be decided during the compilation time. Runtime means which function will be called. Method and function both are same only. Which function will be called, that will be decided during the runtime or execution time. The best example for the compile time polymorphism is function overloading. Whereas the best example for the runtime polymorphism is function overriding. So we will discuss about what is function overloading and what is function overriding in the upcoming videos. So this is about OOPS concepts in Python programming.